Wedding Talk with Mindy and Carol, your insider guide to trends, tips, and stress-free planning.
Hi, this is Carol at Destination Wedding Talk, along with Mindy.
Hey everyone, welcome. And Carol and I are two destination wedding travel specialists and wedding planners, and combined we do at least 50 destination weddings a year. So we're happy to have you join us today on the podcast, and we're excited for our guest, Jennifer, who owns a villa in Jamaica, and she's going to tell you all about what it's like to do a wedding at a villa, not at an all-inclusive resort. So Jennifer, welcome.
Yes, welcome,
Thank
Jennifer.
you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so I'm Jennifer Borgh, and I'm the owner of Borghinvilla Wedding Venue, which is near Discovery Bay in Jamaica. So I'm a Canadian. I moved to Jamaica 10 years ago to start Borghinvilla. And previous to that, I planned weddings at the resorts and at other off-resort properties. So I felt like my clients were looking for something that was off-resort, private, and customizable.
Mhm.
Cool.
So that's why Borghinvilla was born. So our clients primarily will stay at a resort in the area, mostly all-inclusive, some villas as well. And then they'll get married at Borghinvilla so that they'll have something that's very private. We only do one wedding per day and customizable. So if they want to bring their own vendors, they can. If they want sort of a one-stop shop, but everything customized, we can do that as well. So, and unlike a lot of the resorts and other venues, we plan everything well in advance. So when the clients come to Jamaica, they're supposed to be just relaxing, enjoying their week, and basically showing up on their wedding day and getting ready. So they're not supposed to be, we do a rehearsal, or we recommend doing a rehearsal before. But other than that, we don't do any wedding planning the wedding week because we want them to be enjoying it.
Okay.
Sure. So what all-inclusives are like closest to your venue?
So we are in St. Anne, but we're on the border of St. Anne and Trelawney. So the Oceans hotels,
Okay.
Ocean Eden Bay, Ocean Coral, that's 15 minutes away. Royalton, Blue Waters, the Rio Acarel, those are 25 minutes away.
Okay, so they have options that are not too far of a ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Iberostar, 35 minutes away, and then Moon Palace, 45 minutes away. Sandals Duns, Rio Ocho Rios, 35 minutes away.
Okay.
So we're right in the middle of a lot of great resorts.
Right, which is good because that gives those couples that are looking for that unique experience and doing something offsite still being able to pick a resort that is affordable for their guests.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
so
So
how
if
big
they
is-
wanted to choose a resort that was more budget friendly, they could do that, but still have a luxury wedding or a more customized wedding without making all of their guests pay for that. Yes.
So what's your maximum number of guests that you can do a wedding for?
20. Oh, sorry. 200.
200. Okay. 200. I was like 20.
Not a very big wedding.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
intimate group there. Okay, so max of 200.
Yeah, so 200 we
Okay.
say.
So
So
it's a pretty large villa then.
yeah, yeah. So do you have like do you have
So-
like
so
an
the-
area for like
The
the guests?
Yeah, so the property is almost 2 acres.
Okay.
But we have it we have it set up for a wedding venue. So unlike other villas that might do overnights and those types of things, we only do weddings or any happy occasion, but we only do weddings. So everything is set up for weddings. So the areas are very intimate. It's not just one big field of 2 acres. We
Okay.
have a little area. So 150 is more ideal probably for the venue because our tent that's included with the venue is a 40-foot by 60-foot tent. And but we have had weddings for 200 people as well. And
Okay.
they've done maybe not like a seated reception.
Mhm.
They've done like food stations or there's all different types of things you can do.
Do you, as far as so there, I'm assuming that you have like a bridal suite to get ready and things like that. Do they bring their stuff the night before at the rehearsal so then they just come over and use it, or is that just bring everything in the morning? How does that work?
So depending on if we have weddings or not, if we don't have a wedding, then we say bring it to the rehearsal and leave it there.
Okay, okay, okay.
Mhm.
And then
And
like
sorry, and to expand on that, yes. So they have a bridal suite and a groom suite to get ready in. And a lot of our couples do use that because they won't have to pay vendor fees to bring their photographer, videographer, hairstylist, and makeup artist.
okay, okay, okay. And then as far as times a day, since it's one wedding a day, they can just pick whatever time of day that they want that works with you on that, or is it specifically later in the day?
Nope, they can pick any time they want, but we're always going to recommend a couple hours before sunset based on the lighting and the heat. That's the best time to have a wedding, but they can do a wedding anytime they want.
But they have access to the villa throughout the whole entire day, starting as early in the morning to start getting ready. So it's
Correct.
there for the whole entire day.
Yeah.
So is there like a flat rental fee for the villa, or is there different packages based on what they need?
So the venue only fee is 5,900, and that includes the tent, security, um, access to the venue, the bridal suite and everything like that. And then if they want to do a full package, the full packages are like 13,000 and up, depending on how many people they have, depending on, what they're getting. So our full packages include sort of everything you would need for a wedding except photographer, videographer, hair, makeup, and transportation.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I mean, it's up to them who they want to hire for photographers, videographers, but we do have a recommended list that we give them once they book.
So that 13,000 would include food,
Correct. Yeah. So, but
and
it
that
depends
would
on how many
be
people. That's like 25 people, 50 people. We have different packages to show them how much it is. So 25 people, 50 people, 80 people, 100 people, we have packages for. But 30 days before the wedding, they tell us the exact number of guests. And so the package is going to be tailored to those amount of guests. So each person is going to pay for one dinner, one plate, one napkin, one chair, and everything like that. But it's already included in the price so that they don't have to figure it out. So the only time the price changes is if they're upgrading something in the package or, changing something.
They could also just a la carte everything if they wanted to, rather than use a package. Just send you like a Pinterest board and say, we want this, this, and then you can price it to them directly as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
okay. And what kind of florals then are included in the package?
So we just have a set amount that's included for florals, like a dollar amount for florals, for food and everything like that. So there's
And
no
then they customize it to what they want.
exactly. So there's
Okay.
nothing specific. So if a bride comes to me and she says, like, we want white, then I'm going to be like, okay, well, within this package, we can do like hydrangeas and roses or whatever. Um, and it could be two side center gazebo pieces in that. If she's comes back to me and she's like, "Oh, I want, I don't know, some Phalaenopsis orchids, which are way more expensive." That's
Right, right,
to change the price.
right. So they get to really customize then with that credit as to bringing that vision board of theirs to life, which is really
Correct. Correct. And we do have a catalog. with some ideas of things we've
Yeah,
done in
of
the past,
course.
but I
Yeah.
mean, it just can't include every possible
Absolutely.
scenario.
Yeah. And I love it when we'll have consults with couples and they'll be like, well, how much do your flowers cost? I'm like, well, I don't know what kind of flowers you want. Like, are they in season? Do they have to be dyed a certain color? Like, there's so many different variables. So,
Yeah, and we
and I do
walk them
think
through
like,
that.
yeah, and that having samples really does help. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, what do you like from these pictures? And
yeah.
then we can kind of go from there.
And I think a lot of brides these days, they have either a Pinterest board going or they have
Mhm.
a few photos of what they've done. And I can look at that and I can say, like, the flowers are going to cost you 10 times as much. But, if you wanted to bring that color in, we could, change the napkin color and there's no additional charge or
Right.
whatever. Like, we really get into it with them over
Yeah.
what they're and make the suggestions, but it's ultimately their decision what they decide to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Absolutely.
is your typical procedure? So say the bride decides that she wants to do it. What's your deposit amounts?
So the deposit is 1,900 US.
Okay.
And then when they're ready to book the other things, so that's the catering, the food, the decor, they put down another 20% of those things. And again, that amount's going to depend on how many people they're estimating that they have. So we ask them to underestimate. So say they think they're going to have 80 guests, but they know they have 50 guests. So they can just say, like, we have 50 guests, and then they can adjust that later. So
Yeah.
30 days before the wedding, when you know at that point who's booking, right? Like, who's put down
Right.
the deposits and who's booking. That's the list you use to determine how many people you're paying for.
Okay.
And then like kids, vendors, they're going to be half price for the main course and for the bar. So we need a breakdown of how many adults, how many kids, how many vendors.
And then as far as your venues for wedding locations, do you have like a beach or is it more like cliffside? What's your venues?
So it's a cliffside location, but it's sanded. So it kind of looks like a beach, but then you got the Great Cliffs, um, and different like areas. We have a garden area. There's lots of different areas you can take photos and really see the venue.
So they can really do their ceremony in one location, a cocktail hour in another area, and then the reception in another area, and really take full effect of everything that the villa has to offer.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Okay. So on an average, just in your past experience, on an average, what's usually like right 50 and 75 guests, something in like say we had 75 guests. On an average, what have you seen in costs from the low end to the high end?
I would say like an average is about 25, 30,000 by the time they do photographer, videographer, if they're having, and those types of things. They're spending around that. But I mean, that goes up. We have some clients who have spent 80,000, 100,000, and we
Mhm.
have other clients who have done it like more on the budget. In our basic package, we have gold Javari chairs. So if they don't want that, they can downgrade to white folding chairs, for example, if they want,
And that'll bring their costs down.
and that'll bring
So,
the cost down. Take out all flowers if you want. Like, you don't have to have flowers.
Yes.
right, so they can bring their own decor if they want as well too, or is there any kind of fee to set up their own decor?
Yeah, it depends what it is. A lot of our couples bring their own menus, place cards, those
Right.
types of things, maybe some added things. If they are bringing extensive decor, there is going to be a cost because we're going to have to pay somebody to set it up.
Absolutely.
We try to discourage too much DIY. Of course, we want everything to be personalized, but we also don't want any chaos. Like the whole idea of this venue is that you actually are spending your time with your family and your friends and your fiance and you're enjoying your wedding week. Like we don't want people working on their wedding day. You don't know. Um, you just, I mean, wedding planning is not brain surgery, but you just find out things along the way. You
Yeah.
have to be skilled. You have to know, and I don't ever want a bride to show up and try to DIY something and then forget something very important. It's so again, it depends on what it is. We have had people that have DIY'd certain items before.
Do you do South Asian weddings on property or not?
We do. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So would they
Yeah.
need, if they did a 3-day event there, 3 different days in a row, would that be like a $5,900 each day for the venue? Or how does
No, no, we would do each additional day at half price.
okay. Okay.
Okay, that's nice to know.
Yeah. So we've done lots of South Asian weddings. It's a great property for South Asian weddings because we have this big long driveway at the front. So if they're doing like a horse and an entrance, we're outside. So if they're doing a fire for the ceremony, so our gazebo, um, can be converted and we can put fabric on the top of it. I mean, there's a lot of great benefits to doing an Indian wedding. Flowers, like there's always flowers incorporated in the ceremony. We have, just flowers on the property and stuff like that. And we can get Indian food. So,
Cool.
Oh, okay,
um,
good, good.
I mean, couples have done both. So you can do a 3-day wedding. And then we try to be really creative. So typically the 3 days want all different decor, all different colors, right? So maybe we're going to use some things 3 times, some things 2 times, and then some things 1 time, and we're going to bring in another color just to completely change the look, but still use the same things. Or we've had couples that have done the other 2 events on resort. So, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah,
And Geet and then
maybe.
yep, and the Haldi, yeah, and then come over and do the
And
whole
then just go, yeah, do the,
yeah, yeah. That's what I was wondering too. That would be a good option too. Then, do that way they wouldn't have they'd have different venues for everything. They could do the bendy on the first night at the resort and then come over and do the Haldi in the morning at the resort and then come over for the afternoon. What is the latest time that they can stay at your resort?
So just we're in line with the laws in Jamaica. So 12 o'clock during the week, 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
And there is an additional charge if they're going to 2 a.m.
Yes.
okay. So let me ask you this because this is a question that always comes up, and I wish I had a crystal ball because I'd be really rich, but let's talk about weather. So what are the backup plans then if it rains?
So we always have a tent. We don't take chances. We always have the tent. It's included in the package. It's always up, and that is our backup plan. And we've never had actually a wedding completely rained out. We're really lucky. We don't get that much rain in the area, but obviously like we just had like really bad weather a couple months ago. So for the weddings that were around there, we offered to just move the date.
Okay. Okay.
Like just absorb the cost and move the date. Although one wedding still chose to go ahead, but
Okay. All right. So when you have it
um
in the tent, then what do you do? So if you have like a wedding and you have to move the wedding into the tent, then do you move to another area for a cocktail how do you do that to keep it going if it's still raining? I mean, I'm just curious. This is what
yeah.
I'm just curious about.
Um like we did have rain that happened once as we were about to start a ceremony. So we ended up doing cocktails in the tent before and then like moving the time. The good thing about doing one wedding per day is like we could move the time of the ceremony or reception, or we could do the ceremony in the tent, but um, we haven't really
Kind of had
had to
like a
do.
welcome party before the wedding, in the
Yeah,
cocktail hour, and then everybody, as soon as it's cleared up, moved out for the wedding.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I mean, the ceremony is typically only 20 minutes, 30 minutes with walking down the aisle, typically, unless like if it's an Indian wedding, then it might be an hour, or a super religious wedding, it might be like over an hour.
Yeah.
So, we have more flexibility because of that.
Do you have access to then with the legal weddings, do you handle all the paperwork for them as well? And then
Yep.
same thing for all your minister that does the wedding. What about for the South Asian weddings, do they usually bring their priests with them? Normally, we've always seen them bring their own, or do you have access to someone?
We have access to somebody who's Hindu. If it's Sikh, they're gonna have to bring somebody. We don't have anybody in Jamaica.
Okay, okay, okay,
Um, so yeah, we handle all the paperwork.
okay.
That's included. Yeah.
All right, cool. Cool. That's a lot of good information. I know I have your email address and everything, and then I've seen some of the videos because we've got some videos on that as well. But yeah, it's a good interest because the thing of it is they don't have to have 85% of the people staying at the resort in order to have the wedding there.
Exactly. So a lot of our clients are Jamaicans who live abroad
Mhm.
because
That's what I was gonna
they
say.
are,
I come across a lot of my couples that have so many family members that live in Jamaica, and sometimes it's hard when the resort is requiring them to stay on property, and they're like, I just want to go home. I live an hour down the road.
Yeah.
yeah, and just day pass fees alone can end up
Exactly.
costing like $15,000. So why not put that into a wedding that can be more extravagant and more meaningful?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a different experience. So the couples are and their guests are staying at a resort all week. Like take them off the resort, let them see, some
Something
different things
else,
in
yeah,
Jamaica.
new
It makes
experience.
it more special. And a lot of weddings that happen on resort, like the guests think that they got that wedding for free because they booked at the resort, which is not the case. They paid for that. So, it makes a big distinction when you take them off resort. Like we paid for this wedding. It's not, a freebie that we got on your back because you booked at the resort, even though that's not true because they do have to pay at the resort. But that is a misconception that a lot of guests have that they got it for free.
So you do offer, I think I've asked you before, but you do offer pre-site visits for guests if you're available, correct?
Yep. Yeah. So as long as we don't do any site tours or anything on wedding days, but any day that we're available, like the more notice we get, the better because I might have to call in staff or, we're not open unless we have a wedding or an event or a site tour.
Have you ever done, I'm just curious because I had somebody ask me and I didn't know. Have you ever done cruise ship stop weddings where they get off the ship, bring their guests, have the wedding, a little party and leave? Have you ever had any one of those?
We have, yeah, we have.
Okay.
Those what the everything happens so fast.
It does. I was
Um,
going to say it has to happen really quickly, but
yeah.
we do have people. I mean, I've had people call me and say, "Hey, I'm going on a cruise. I want to do a wedding when I get off," and it's always tough to find a venue that works for them. So
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah, we've done that and it's great. Everybody gets to go home early. It's,
Yeah,
less
for
work
staff.
than yeah.
Yeah.
So basically what we have done is we usually try to have the bride and groom get off like as soon as the ship docks
Mhm.
and give them a couple hours like heads up to come to the venue and get like hair and makeup and then have the guests come like a couple hours later and then start the wedding. I mean, the timing is not ideal because you're in the midday.
Yes.
We do have a lot of shaded areas, so I mean, we can make it work, but and then we have the guests come and then we rush everybody back before, the
Before
ship
they leave.
leaves.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
We just make sure we have lots of extra time because we never want anybody to miss the boat.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a panic, but we just make sure we're really organized and have it all set up.
Okay.
And how far in advance are your couples booking the weddings? Like if we had a couple now that is interested in getting married in, say, 2028, are your calendars open yet?
Yeah, yeah, like most of our couples book a year in advance. But because of like all the craziness that happened last year, like we got a lot of like last minute bookings. Like I'm still getting this year bookings.
Yeah,
Whereas at one time, like that would be unheard of to be getting bookings like a month or two out.
Well,
yeah.
that's great to know though, because I mean, I have this week alone, I have had three different brides that want to get married in May, June, and October of this year. And they want the
Mhm.
specific date. And it's like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, they want
We-
specific dates, and you're like, you do realize like that is hard to get that 5 o'clock Saturday spot, and the
Yeah, yeah,
resort has been booked on
yeah.
that date for a year now.
So that's good
Yeah.
to know because you're up
Yeah,
and going. Everything's good to go there, and we could start booking there at any time, correct?
Yeah, like we had a lot of cancellations, unfortunately, last year. And so, like, we have lots of openings now, which is a good and a bad thing.
Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, the biggest thing would be finding enough hotel space with some of them that are still closed.
yeah,
Well, it seems to be happening like as the hotels are reopening, um, people are able to do that. We have a group actually next month, which is only a few weeks away. They were booked at Bahia, so like they moved all to Ocean.
Hmm.
So Bahia is 10 minutes from us.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right.
it was a good choice for a lot of our clients. So yeah. And like there's hotels. Ocho Rios did not get as much damage. They got a lot
right.
of damage as far as the trees and stuff, but they didn't get a lot of damage as far as like major things like roofs and stuff. So all those hotels, that are in Ocho Rios
Are open.
are open.
Open, which
Yeah.
is good. Which
Yeah.
is good.
Um,
Yeah.
I I don't have any other questions. Do you, Mindy, at all?
No, I don't. Jennifer, it's so nice to meet you, and we really do appreciate you joining us on the podcast and telling us more about your venue because, as we talked about earlier, so many of these couples are looking for something unique and different. They know they want to do a destination wedding, but they want that space that is unique and not cookie cutter. And you kind of bring both to the table for them. They're getting that destination wedding in an exquisite location. Guests are able to enjoy Jamaica and the hospitality that Jamaica offers. But then, as you said, it's an experience getting off site and going to this villa and having your fairy tale wedding. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And I think we've want to touch on some villas and we want to bring business back to Jamaica. We love Jamaica. It's a lot of guests had pulled away because of what happened and had to move and things like that. But I think Jamaica will come back stronger, even as it always does. I mean, the people themselves are strong people. They're resilient. And
Definitely.
yeah, so thank you again. And I think next week, I don't know who we have on top for next week, Mindy. I can't remember what we got going.
yeah, so next week we have two of the business development managers for AIC, which is the Hard Rocks, the Unico, Ava resorts and everything. So we're going to really dive deep into that brand in all the locations and their wedding packages.
Yes.
Nice, because we're getting one in Jamaica
I
by the
know. I
end of
No,
the
we're
know.
so
year.
excited.
I know. We're
Mhm.
excited, but then that'll also
So,
be an option for you. I think it's going to be kind of close to you as well.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That'll be
So
another
that's
one.
gonna
I'm
be
excited
like
for that. Yeah, I'm excited.
45 minutes from us, so that'll
I'll
definitely be a
help you
good
too.
option.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for now.
Great.
Thank you for joining us. And until next time, it's goodbye for now from Carol.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And remember, follow us on Facebook.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more wedding inspiration and tips. Visit us at destinationweddingtalk.com for resources and updates. And as always, send us your questions to Mindy and Carol. We love hearing from you. Join us again next week for the latest episode of Wedding Talk with Mindy and Carol. Until then, happy planning.